Diane and
I
I
love it when I figure out something like that. If it's driving
oh,
me crazy, you know, the pagination, the inserting of sections, the different things, it gets really frustrating. But you can teach yourself just about anything, either on a video like this or, you know, any kind of YouTube videos for what you're looking for. It's just a question. Oh, I watched one the other day. I was laughing so hard at what he was saying. I wish I could find it. It was one of the videos. I was teaching myself how to have a green screen behind me and make it, to get it all black and get rid of the green and then put something else on. And the guy, he's this young, he's probably a Gen Z, you know, he's this young guy. And he just keeps saying how stupid, oh, I'm such an idiot the whole time. But the way he said it was a lot dirtier, but funnier. You know, he would say, you know, different things to himself. Just his commentary alone. I was very entertained by watching him. And I learned how to do it, even though he was just totally, you know, off color. It was pretty funny.
So Diane and I both bought green screens.
Yeah.
I use the green screen for when I'm putting in one of my book covers for the background. And I still come out with a green line around my hair.
Yeah.
Something is not right.
Well, green screens aren't really, you're trying to use it for Zoom. And for something like this on Zoom, you don't need a green screen because it does it with you've learned how to put the background on. And you can turn on the background. Like I'm going to turn one on. If you go to the bottom where it has the stop video and all that, if you put the up arrow and you click choose virtual backgrounds, I have a picture of my living room and I sometimes will use that. Okay, so it kind of makes me look a little green if you notice. See my hands? It'll do kind of funny things when you, even on here. And
yes, that's what I mean.
Well, if you have, maybe I have more green to me than others, but the reason you put a green screen behind you is it gets rid of everything that's not green. And so if you have something that looks sort of a shade of green, like my hair, it might, you know what I mean? It might cut out.
Green here.
Yeah. You know, it's the kind of thing that can be frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah, my hands looked as though they were filled with
liquid. Yeah.
Like green goo.
Well, I don't know what programs you were using. Was it on Zoom?
Yeah.
No, I don't, you know, I haven't really used green screens on Zoom because you don't need it because you can do what you just did. And
yeah, look, it's not perfect.
But no, it's not. And it's perfect for bald men because they have no hair. And it just, you know, it morphs perfectly. But that's something that I think will get a lot better fast because they're getting better at doing things. But the green screen is good to use if you're making training videos. And I had created one where I was just playing around and I had puppies going up the screen and different things just to see, you know, I watched a video, showed how you can make the puppy spin going across the screen. And there's a lot of things I didn't know how to do. But software wise, as we're talking about some of the software we use and the books and things, I use Canva a lot to do the covers, but I use Camtasia a lot to make the videos. So you can use the green screen and use something like Camtasia to get rid of all the green. And then once that's gone, it's kind of like anybody who does JPEG files and turns them into PNG files, that's getting rid of everything but the one thing that you want. And it's the same thing you would do. Do you know what a PNG, do you understand how PNGs work?
No, I always thought they were interchangeable with.
No, you know, when you say you had it and you just wanted to have you like this, you wanted to cut everything out of the behind me, you would be able to do that with a PNG file. So you could save your JPEG as a PNG, and then you can highlight areas that aren't what you want in this thing and just get rid of it and backspace through it and save it. So that's what they do, like with logos. You see the ones that have like boxes around them and you're like, that's so just the logo shows up or just the head or just the foot or whatever it is you're trying to keep. So you do the same thing when you create videos. You make it into a file that's just what you want. And then you put the background of whatever you don't, you know, I want to be in Hawaii. I put the Hawaii background behind me and that's how you do it. So there's a lot of complicated things that go on. But as far as when you're making a book, a lot of the things that you're going to need are just a way to make the cover and the interior. The interior word, obviously, is is basically all you need. You have to be able to save things into PDF files sometimes, but you can do that in Word.
Well, that's easy.
Yeah, but the hardest part might be the cover for some people because they're not used to pictures. But actually, I think the interior is just as hard if you don't have like you had my templated size already. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that was the easy part. All I had to do was cut and paste the text into the template that was given to us by Amazon.
Yeah, they do give you templates.
And you just follow that. And they will
really
tell
pretty
you.
Good.
Yeah, it's not that hard. And they will tell you when things are not right and go back to the drawing board. So I couldn't understand this at first at all. So one of the calls that I made to Amazon, again, I never did this before.
Well, if you're doing like the book, the title, I mean the cover, and you turn it in and you get an error back, it's usually that it wants it 12.62 by 12 instead of 12.63 by 12 or whatever.
Right.
You can go into a program like Photoshop and change the dimensions by view the size of the canvas. And if you look at the size of the canvas, there's a little lock on it that locks. So if you take that lock and toggle it off, you can change one dimension without it affecting the other. So some people might try this, and I want to make sure that they know that. If you have the two things locked together and you try to change one, it'll keep changing the other one and drive you crazy. So no, you can.
With the even and the odd.
Huh?
That's what happened with the even and the odd.
Yeah, a lot of things are kind of connected when you do things. Okay, so we're scaring people out of this. So what you can do is hire somebody to do the book cover. And I've used Fiverr and a bunch of cheap sites like that in the past. And you can get things done really quick. But I was having fun. Gilda and I, we were decided we're going to tackle this and see if we can get it accomplished. And we did.
I think it was very worthwhile. And I'm glad that we did that. And I'm glad I had you in the background cheerleading me on, because I would have given up in a second. I would have gone in and found somebody and said, just do this.
Well, now that you know how to do it, you kind of could do it again. You know what I mean? Each time you learn a little bit more, even though you had me do some of it, now you know most of it. You know what I mean? Right. And it really helps you the more you try to tackle this. And okay, a lot of people listening to this might just create a pamphlet kind of book. And I did that.
Yes, you did that.
Let me grab one here because it's just a simple little thing you can create on Kindle. And this is one of my workshop guides. Now see this one.
How beautiful that looks.
Yeah. And I created just a plain blue back because I didn't need anything other than that. And you don't need a binding because there wasn't enough room because it's a very small thing. This took me, no time at all. The worst thing is changing the dimensions of the picture I uploaded, which I just showed you how to do that. But
Diane went back and forth with me, and we had 8 renditions of the cover until Amazon approved it and said, okay, it's ready to go.
A lot of the problem is you have to know how many pages your book's going to be, because that changes the binding size. Okay, so that'll change the front picture, that'll change the back picture, that'll change the size of the binding. And so they make you tell exact dimensions. And if your book ends up different size than what you told them, that's going to come in and they're going to know it's actually different, so there's a lot of things like that you don't think about that come up when you're designing things.